Yo, good morning. Welcome to the showdown. Sorry for the delay. We're gonna do some live trading today, so stick around. And we got 5 pairs available. So we got FxBigDog join the show, and we're gonna do a little trade battle. So we're gonna implement live trades using our Pip Hunter tool. So check around and see how we use this tool to manage our positions and implement some trades. So we'll see you guys right after this. All right, welcome back to the showdown. Good morning, Big Dog.
Good morning, Cameron, and how's it going this morning?
It's going great, and you?
Fantastic. Well, we just got some jobs coming out this morning out in Canada. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what's going on right here in the marketplace, and let's go ahead and dive into some opportunities here. Traders, listen here. News moves the market, and we've always had this battle between whether the markets are moving based on fundamentals, or is it just really some rumors of something that's coming down the line? These are the things that really happen a lot during the week, and so we have to pay a little bit more attention to that. So let's just take a look and see what went down this week. This week we had Australians keep the rates unchanged at 4.35%. We saw an initial push, and then we saw a downside move in the Australian dollar. But it has recovered since. It hasn't really moved as much as we'd like to see on the Aussie crosses. And again, anytime the central banks go ahead and keep the rates unchanged, it normally gives a little bit of indecision. But in most cases, over the last couple of central bank decisions, we have seen that if they keep the rates unchanged, we've actually seen a bearish move in that currency. Now, that's not the only pair that we saw some movement out this week. We did see the official bank rate out in the UK as well, also keeping their rates unchanged at 5.25%. And what happened with that? Again, a little bit of whoopee-lashy, but we did see a downside move as well on the pound pairs. We'll definitely go ahead and review the pound pairs this morning because we're going to go ahead and take a look at some trade opportunities. But the thing is here is this morning, we had some additional data that came out this morning. And this is, of course, the jobs out in Canada. Wow. Canadians, you're doing a great job. I mean, take a look at that. Jobs are up from 20, they forecast at 20K, and it came out at 90K. Unemployment rate, check it out, unemployment rate. Unemployment rate was at 6.2%. That was the forecast. It's now 6.1%. But remember, the forecast and the actual from last month is the same. It's at 6.1%. All right. So there's really no change there, but they did improve on the jobs. And so we did see the market actually go ahead and spike down with the news, spike down, but we're starting to see a pushback. Question is, why is the market pushing back? Well, traders, if you take a look at the Dow actually opened up bullish on the day. All right. We saw the Dow open up bullish on, oh, my bad. Did I say bullish? I mean bearish on the day. The Dow opened up bearish on the day. Look at this big spike to the downside right here. Now, anytime the Dow moves south, what happens to the dollar? The dollar is going to move bullish, right? So if Dow goes bearish, dollar's going to go bullish. So what we're talking about right here is risk on, risk off. It's a risk on, risk off type of move. And that's what's happening right here. This is why we've seen a corrective move in the actual dollar. All right. Now, I'm not going to dig deeper into any of the details. We're going to go ahead and look at some trade opportunities, me and Cameron. And we're going to dig deeper into the details when we talk about each one of these setups. And so with that being said, traders, let's go ahead and dive into the first currency pair of the day. And let's go ahead and review that. So, Cameron, if you want to go ahead and take off the first pair and dive into the first currency pair of the day, we can go ahead and get started with that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look here and see what opportunity we have here in the market. Looking at the US dollar, actually, you know, I'm not gonna look at the US dollar CAD. Let's see here.
All right, let's get your chart up there too, mate.
Yeah, oh yeah. Let's go ahead and do that as well. And I'm going to take a look at the New Zealand CAD actually. Another pair I usually pick, but I'm going to take a look at the New Zealand CAD. Looking at the higher time frame here, let's see what we got going on in the higher time frame to give us a bigger bias. So looking at the 1 hour, we can see here price has taken out external liquidity range, buy side, and we definitely have a big move to the upside here. We can see we're consolidating a lot of accumulation right now, and we started getting some displacement to the downside. So if I zoom in here, what do we see? What do we see? Well, we see that price is taking buy side. Okay, we had a manipulation. So I like to use standard deviation when I see these areas. I'm going to go ahead and implement that right here from this low. And this is the 1 hour. So I'm going to use standard deviation here. And I'm looking for this area where I see this fair value gap to be an area that I think price is going to move into, which you can see it's already respecting this area. But I like to see constant encroachment be an area that price wants to sweep. Okay, you can see we also have our range of our -2 and 2.5 area just below this. And not only that, we would like to see a rebalance of EQ, right? Equilibrium. So we also want to see price come back to 50% retracement to go ahead and rebalance EQ of this price leg. So what do we see? Well, we do see that we have an area of equal lows, and you can see prices creating equal lows. So we're generating sell side liquidity here as we're accumulating. And I'm anticipating here on the New Zealand CAD, looking at the higher time frame bias, is that we're going to move lower here on the New Zealand CAD. I'm expecting price to continue to move lower because we have a lot of insufficiency, a lot of areas that price wants to rebalance for equilibrium and insufficiency. So I am shorting on the New Zealand CAD, looking for this bearish bias as I expect a lot of areas to be swept down below. So we're going to go ahead and jump here in the New Zealand CAD. And where's New Zealand? Oh, here we go. And I'm going to go ahead and implement a sell here on the New Zealand CAD. Just using this Pip Hunter tool with just a click of a button, and we're entered in this trade.
All right, fantastic. Well, just a reminder for everyone, if you are wanting to follow our trade ideas, make sure that you go ahead and check down in the description down below. We have a Telegram link, and you can follow each and every single trade that we place here inside this live show. Remember, traders, transparency is important, and we want to make sure that you guys understand that we're all about transparency. Check out our trades. You can follow it. It's done in a live trading account, a real live trading account. And we also share exactly what our strategy is and, of course, where our entry is. So there's not a lot of companies that do that. We do that with complete transparency, and we love doing what we do. All right, great stuff, Cam. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and dive into the next pair right here. And for me, the next pair is going to be very simple. It's going to be the Aussie Canadian dollar. And I'm going to go ahead and break it down here from the daily down. So from the top down, we noticed that we had a fifth wave completion right here. Price did move back down here, took out the fourth wave low. And so therefore, we're anticipating now the market to go ahead and continue to wave up. So the long-term outlook for the Aussie Canadian dollar would still be up here towards around about 0.9352 or 58, right about there, give or take. But the issue here is, traders, is that we're running into some buy-side liquidity right here, as Cameron mentioned. We've got a lot of accumulation being built up right about here. And so with that being the case right here, what we're looking for is, did price sweep the high? And yes, we did. We did sweep the high. And therefore, we're looking at what I like to call bull scorer point pullback. A very, very well-known trader and very respected trader in the space, Jared Martinez, always talks about bull scorer point, and now we see some pullback. And so the thing here is, we're looking at a sort of a resistance level. Now, it's not only coming off those highs right here, but I can also see that we have resistance coming off this area from this trend line. So if I go ahead and put a trend line going up right here, you can see that we have this resistance right there off this upward trend line. Okay, so we've got resistance from this upward trend line. We've got, and let's just go ahead and put that in. So we've got the resistance of this upward trend line. And so what it's doing is it's building up a lot of sort of pressure here, selling pressure. and I'm expecting price to work its way back down. So I'm going to go ahead and move this down to a lower time frame. And let's go ahead and do that. Actually, I should have done that on this time frame, but that's okay. Let's go down to the lower time frame right here. I'm going to use the same chart. And I'm going to go down to a 30-minute. And let's go ahead and look to see if we can get a little bit of, well, look at this. We had a good setup, right? We actually had price take out the high right here, or actually retest the high. I like to look at the bodies in a sense, but the highs are important. We did sweep the high, not very convincing, but then look how we had good displacement right here. Price displaced below that low, which is great. So which we have sell side liquidity being swept with a nice little push to the downside. And then we saw the price move back up again. This would have been the ideal space to go ahead and look to sell the market. Now, we are trading, and this is the thing, traders, we are trading at a very, very important level at the moment right now. As you can see right here, we've had a lot of support right here, equal lows being created right here, and we're trading right at this level. And I'm going to say this, all right? It is not good practice to sell at resistance, sell at support, all right? It's not good practice to sell at support, all right? Especially when the market's gone ahead and closed above the previous support level. So price has gone ahead and swept the low, but failed to remain below. That is not a good sign for a buyer. For a seller. I keep saying buyer, but for a seller. All right. So, but at this point in time, I am looking at the overall, and the overall says that we should be heading south. And so I am wanting to sell this. But what I'm going to do here, traders, is I'm going to be a little more, because in this show, we want to try and get in and out of the market as quickly as possible. So what I want to do is I want to look to see if we actually have a possible upside move off the support. We're closer to the support for a bounce. So I want to see if the market can bounce back up again and maybe come back to retest a breakout point, which we could. But look at that. If we do trade that, that is what? 12.6 pips? That's not giving me 20 pips in the market right here. So it's not really a good sell. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look to see, do we have fair value gaps? All right. Fair value gaps, breaker blocks, looking for all of that stuff, order blocks. Well, if I look over here, there is a fair value gap right here that we actually currently in. And if I look at the encroachment area, in the this is the consequent encroachment area, it's right here where price actually retested and then moved away from that area. So traders, because I don't see any further upside move on this, maybe I'm wrong and the market does, but because I don't, I'm going to lean more towards the bigger picture, which is, of course, what the daily is looking at right here. And I'm also going to look at this right here and say that, hey, if price today does close out below the previous low, then we are absolutely still going to head back down south. And if I look over here, we do have a fair value gap right here, right in here, that the market is currently testing right there. And so right there is, and so we're going to say that because of the resistance, that price is trying to get to the other side of this fair value gap, which means that we're looking for price to come to this area right here at 89.82. So because of that, I'm going to say that we're going to be anticipating the market to continue its move to the downside. And therefore, traders, I'm going to sell. I don't see a lot of room to the upside. I'm going to sell Aussie Canadian dollar. So Cameron, let's go ahead and open up the dash right here. And let's go ahead and implement the setups. Cameron's going to go and enter that order. There it is. And the order's been entered. We're now in on the Aussie Canadian dollar. We sold at 90.21. Let's see how this plays out over the course of the next 48 hours as moving to next week.
All right, cool. Awesome. All right, next pair. Let's take a look here. I guess we'll just jump right to the US dollar CAD, right? Let's see here. So looking at the 1 hour, we had buy side liquidity up here. Price took out this area of sell side. And we had a nice move to the upside. Okay, so we took sell side. like to see price come to buy side, never hit buy side liquidity. We started seeing a move to the downside here. So I'm going to look and say, okay, well, do we see price come back to discount this range? Price came back to discount. We had a BPR, balanced price range, seeing a little bit of rejection here. So what can I anticipate looking at the bullish bias? Well, we do have an area of sell side liquidity over here as well. Okay. We also are in a, I think it's a daily or 1 hour fair value gap. What I want to anticipate is, okay, well, if we start seeing displacement now to the upside, one thing I can anticipate is that either price is looking to take sell side and we're coming back to premium for a sell, or we're expecting that price came back to discount to go ahead and take out buy side liquidity, right? So where can we anticipate price to come back to? Well, first thing, if we're expecting price to bounce for the short term here, let's go look at the 50-minute time frame. We would like to first wait to see how this fair value gap plays out, right? If we're getting rejection off this area, then a good sell opportunity is setting up for us, okay? If we're seeing rejection off this area where we see this fair value gap. And what we want to know is, okay, well, if price comes back higher, maybe we're coming back to premium, right, of this price leg. So price can come back to this area where we see this 1 hour fair value gap that could end up being an inversion fair value gap, right? Because price broke below this fair value gap and now could look to retrace back to go ahead and retest this area as an inversion. And that would be just in our premium area, right above 50%. So this would be a good sell opportunity here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to expect, without not knowing what price does at this area, I'm going to sell because we're in a bearish fair value gap. But if price wants to break higher, what I'm anticipating is that we're coming back to areas of premium, looking for sell side to be taken down here, right? Smart money traders are coming in and they're getting a premium sell to go ahead and target this area right here. So I don't know what price is going to do here, as we're just now starting to see movement into this fair value gap. We don't know what price is doing at this moment. If I had to sit and be patient for the day and wait for price to build structure in this area, then I would have a lot more better bias of what price is doing. But as for this trade in the showdown, I'm going to anticipate, because we do position trading with dollar cost average, I'm going to take a sell. And if price wants to move back to premium into this area, we'll go ahead and enter more positions, looking for a move to the downside, and possibly could even target more than 20 net pips, depending on how many positions we get in, right? But for the showdown, we're going to go ahead and sell here on the US dollar CAD. And I'm going to go ahead and implement a sell here on the US dollar CAD. And we're short here, expecting maybe possible move to the upside back to premium. But that's fine, because what we do with the strategy is we dollar cost average and we manage those positions.
Alrighty, well, good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, listen, guys, if you are if you're looking for a trading account and you want to go ahead and sign up with a broker, let's say you don't have a broker that you really trust, a broker that you really connected to with regards to having a good relationship with, you might want to check out the broker ACAP. We're working with ACAP, and we bring in a whole bunch of different opportunities. And they are offering a great opportunity for traders to be able to get our services and get our trade ideas for absolutely zero cost. All you got to do is open up a live trading account with them. And when you do, let us know by using our broker link. Let us know. And we're going to go ahead and make sure that you get access, 12-month access, depending, of course, on your deposits, free access to our trade ideas. If you want to check out our trade ideas, go to TradersNetworkClub.com. and check it out. But in the meantime, Cameron, let's go ahead and give respect and some love towards ACAP. Alrighty, traders. Well, the next trade on the list is going to be on the euro. And so let's go ahead and dive a look. This is the euro against the US dollar right here. Let's go dive into the daily time frame right here. If you look at the daily time frame, it's pretty clear as to what's going on right here. All right, we've got the market creating this this falling wedge right here. And some might look at this and go, you know what? We got this big swing going up right here, and this is the wave one swing. And now the market is inside this correction move, right? And this correction move is now looking for price to go ahead and move back down deeper. Now, when you look at this right here, we look at this as wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe 5 here, and then a rally. So which means that we could be looking for a sell-off right here. Now, many might say, well, Big Dog, didn't we have the market already creating this wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5, and now we're looking for price to go down? Well, no, because this whole structure that we're seeing right here, this whole structure is actually what we're looking at right here as this is not the first setup right here, all right? This is part of the biggest setup. This is part of the biggest structure from year to year because we had a 5-wave structure inside here to complete this big wave structure right here. Now we look at this and go, okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're looking for 5 right here. Now, there's two things. This falling wedge could become a wolf wave, and we can have a false breakout year to year, and it can give us a nice opportunity to go long. But overall, traders, the euro US dollar is setting up to go bearish. Now, with that being said, we do know that this is a daily time frame, and that the lower time frames do have different, totally different setups. And so let's go ahead and take a look and see what the lower time frame is telling us and how we can go ahead and trade that. So I'm going to go to the 30-minute time frame right here. We're going to look for some intraday moves. And I want to go ahead and let me just change my settings here. I want to take the grid off here. There we go. I don't like grid, so let's go no on that. Actually, in fact, let's go to all settings. There we go. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead. Oh, look at that strong move. Oh, and that's perfect. Look at this, guys. This is what we had right here. And this is what you have to understand. Price creates a high, right? We have like a high form right here. Then we have the market sweeping the high up here at the top and then taking out the low, right? We have the low being taken out, and with the low being taken out, now we're looking at displacement. This is huge displacement right here. So what's going to happen is the price is going to come back to fill up some gaps. We've got fair value gaps. We've got breaker blocks. There's a whole bunch of stuff right here that's going to be important. Now, if I look over here, we had the market go ahead and create this, before this rally, we had this breaker block right here. Right here. So price is going to come back to retest this. We have a fair value gap not being set up yet. We don't have a fair value gap set up yet. We have to wait for the close of this candle here. But we also have the sell side liquidity right here that was broken through right there as well. So I'm going to say that there's a possibility that price is going to come back to retest this level. Let's see how much profit there is. Not a lot. So we're going to have to wait about 8 pips. But to be honest with you, 8 pips is nothing. So either I go ahead and say I'm going to wait 8 pips and then try and sell, or I'm going to say that how much potential do we have to the downside right here? Well, here's the deal. If we take a look over here, we have a huge fair value gap right here. The price is going to go ahead and try and fill right here. And that means that we could see price going further down. Remember, we're looking at the short term, right? And we're looking for price to go ahead and fill the gap right here. So which means that if we go up and then we go down, this is the area we want to go ahead and fill. If we look at that range, price is going to move up about 8 or 9 pips. And then from that point, we're going to drop back down towards this area. If we drop to that point, we got 22 pips. So traders, to be honest with you, it is going to be in our interest to rather wait for price to go up a little higher before adding on to that position. Now, I might want to go ahead and take a look at the way the markets are set up here on the larger time frame. So let's go to the 4-hour. So the 4-hour, I also see the same fair value gap right here. And then I'm looking over here. I'm seeing if there's anything else. Here we got strong resistance up here at the top. Let's go ahead and just put that in there, and let's go say this buy side liquidity up here at the top, sell side there. We're definitely going to come back to retest this old buy side liquidity area right here. Let's go ahead and put that in so we note that. Going to come back to retest. So definitely want to see some pullback. So what's going to end up happening is we got our swing low right here, and the market is most probably going to want to go back to test that swing low right there. So which means we can come into this area. We got to get a pullback. But overall, traders, we're probably going to get the market to do something like this, where it's going to go ahead and test this area, maybe bounce inside this this order block right here. Oh, so it's fair value gap, then drop back down south and chase after this liquidity down here below. Now, if that's the case, how much do we have? We've got around about, let's see here, we've got about 40 pips in that. So which means if I do short the euro at the moment right now, even if the market wants to pull back a little bit, I'm still got a lot of downside potential on this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and, again, waiting for price to pull back up here. It's a 7 to 8 pip move. I mean, it's 50% of our profits. I get it. So if I was really trying to be more precise on my entry point, then I would wait for the markets to pull back up, retest my level, and then go ahead and enter that point and gain extra 8 pips on that trade. So if I chase off the 20 pips on that trade, then at least I'm capturing 50% of the move in a retracement, and that gives me much more hope and success on seeing early profits to the downside. And so as I'm trying to talk and delay my entry point so I can get some pullback on that, we're not seeing it, so I'm going to have to go ahead and pull that trigger. All right, Cameron, we're going to go ahead and get into the trade on this one right here on the euro. So let's go ahead and pull up the dashboard here, and let's go ahead and enter that trade. A sell on the euro US dollar. All right, perfect. Well, there you can see it, traders. We've gone ahead and entered the trade. We're using our tool to go ahead and do that. We've got one currency pair left, and that is on the Canadian Swiss right here. And, Cameron, let's go ahead and talk about the Canadian Swiss.
All right. You want me to go first?
Go for it.
All right. Let's take a look at the CAD Swiss here. First thing I noticed here, looking at the 1 hour, is we've had nice, strong displacement above this high. Okay, and this could indicate to me that we're starting to see a market structure shift. But one thing I want to keep in mind is looking at the higher time frame here is if we zoom out, we do see a lot of imbalance areas here. You can see this candle wick here. I'd like to see price first sweep this constant encroachment before I anticipate we're going to move higher. But looking at the 1 hour here, okay, and we're now just coming back to retest this bearish fair value gap here, okay? So we're retesting this 1 hour fair value gap, and we did see a little bit of displacement here above this previous high, and we can start expecting that we're on the buy side of the curve, coming to hunt buy side liquidity here. But I would love to see how price reacts in this area before I could really make a decision, because I do have to anticipate that there are insufficiency areas down below here that I'd like to see price first fill these areas before I anticipate the CAD Swiss to continue to move higher. Because obviously, looking at the daily, we know the CAD Swiss is hunting these areas here where there's buy side. We know that CAD Swiss is looking to continue to move higher and bullish. But before we do that, we need to know that, okay, do we have enough liquidity for price to continue to move higher? Well, we know we've generated a lot of insufficiency down here. I'd love to see price come down here before I can anticipate that we're going to continue to move higher. But what we can anticipate as well, looking at the smaller model here, is that we could be on the buy side of the curve, hunting buy side liquidity, and maybe we even see price come back down to fill these insufficiency areas before we start seeing this higher expansion on the daily. So what I want to do here on the CAD Swiss is, well, first I want to say, okay, looking at the short term, because we're only targeting 20 pips here, right? So let's go to the 50-minute time frame, and let's see what we can anticipate here on the 50-minute time frame for a 20 pip gain. 20 pips is coming back to this previous low of this leg. That is not an area that I would expect if we're just expecting a little bit of retracement and then continue higher on this buy side of the curve. So what I'm going to say here on the CAD Swiss, right, is that I'm going to buy on the CAD Swiss. And if price somehow wants to dip lower to fill insufficiency, I don't mind getting more positions here and loading for this expansion that I'm expecting on the CAD Swiss. So I'm really trading the CAD Swiss with a higher time frame bias more than a short term bias.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes absolutely sense right here. And to go ahead and reconfirm what Cameron's been saying right here, traders, if we take a look right here on the daily chart right here, and you look at the wave structure, we had a good wave one, wave two, wave. Then we have a look at this inside structure: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're looking for price to eventually chase after a much higher target, and we're looking for this first inside structure, fifth wave inside structure to complete. And that we're looking at around about 67.90. And there's a good chance, traders, that this market's going to push through that level and go higher than that. And the reason for that is because there's been a lot of testing up here around about the 68.30 level. So we're definitely going to test 68.30, and we're probably going to push a little bit above that. And so if I look at my internal structure right here, this long wick right here was the test of the previous wave one. Now I look at, fair value gaps are based on lows and highs of three base candle, all right, or 3-bar candle. And so I also look at fair value gaps to be something between our wave one and wave four. So as you look over here, if we have a wave one setting up right here, then you have a wave three. This wave one right here, this needs to be filled. We need the price to come back to retest that. And if you look over here, we didn't have it at that point, but look at that candle. That one candle goes ahead and fills the gap. This is big opportunity to go ahead and look to buy that. And so we've gone ahead and moved off that level, bounced back up, come back to retest this, and it normally does because this is creating a new wave one, right? So this is a new inside structure, wave one. Now we're looking for wave three, which most likely will come to 67.90. We'll get a little bit of the pushback off that. Maybe we're going to go up a little higher, drop back down south, and then rally. But if I go ahead and bring in my swings on this, and I look at this inside structure here, and I connect that low to high right there, look at that. We are looking for price to go up a little higher to about 68.07, and again, possibly push to 68.30. Then we're going to get a pullback. But that pullback is just going to be something like this. We're going to get a little pullback like this, maybe come back, and then chase off to the next level. And that's why I say we're going to be looking for a little bit higher. Maybe 69 and 69 comes into play, but we're definitely hitting higher. So I see this, and I agree with Cam. The long-term bias on the Canadian Swiss is still bullish, and that there might be some short-term grabs on liquidity. But over and above that, I still think that we're going to be hitting further north on the CAD Swiss. And therefore, Cameron, as you mentioned, let's go ahead and throw in a buy on this pair. And here we go, traders. We're going to go ahead and implement a buy on the CAD Swiss. There it is. Boom, 1, 2, 3, and we're in. All right. So if we do get a little bit of a liquidity grab down below at the sell side liquidity areas, that's okay, because our long-term bias is still chasing after those equal highs there at 68.30. All right. Now, traders, make sure you guys make absolutely certain you guys make sure that you subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and of course, comment on the video as well. We'd love to hear your comments on the video. I'd like to hear your response on what's going on in the marketplace. But also, very important, traders, if you're looking to get into a community with traders that are doing exceptionally well, and FYI, our Dow mode continues to do really well in the marketplace. We can see right here we are kicking ass, if I can say that. We're kicking ass in regards to returns. We had a little slow start to this month. Normally we get about 5% in the first week. We've got a 2.85% return. So look at the, this is called the level 2. Now you can get the VIP bundle package, but the level 2, VIP level 2, is where we trade the Dow every morning, and we capture anywhere between 100 to 300 pips a day. We're doing really good. So far this month alone, you can see right here, we're up in pips. 655 pips already been captured. Last month was 4,300 pips been captured. The month before was 3,400. So traders, get involved. And you know what? If you want to get this for absolutely zero cost, check out ACAP. Open up a live trading account with ACAP. Contact us. We want to give you anything between 3 to 12 months free access to this tool. So which means you carry no cost every month to month, and you can absolutely be gaining on this month to month. Listen, traders, I just did some research over in the space, and I saw a company also offering trade ideas. Guess what they charge as a inception fee? $10,000. They call it a setup fee. $10,000 setup fee, and then they charge you monthly fee. We're charging zero costs upfront, zero cost monthly, and we're getting you connected to a system for a whole 12 months with zero cost that's offering you an opportunity to grow your trading account. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. Don't miss out on this, guys. We love you guys. We really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for coming in. Make sure you go ahead and share, like, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you guys in the next live show. This is FxBigDog and my sidekick Cameron, wishing you peace, joy, and successful trading. Happy trading, my guys. Happy trading, my friends. Cheers.